Welcome to the WhatintheShibal podcast with Soogia and Ed.
We're just two Asian Americans talking shit about shit. Mm-hmm. Hi, Ed. How are you?
Good. How are you? How's your week?
Good. It was pretty good. I feel a little like, I don't know.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
For those of you just listening, I'm doing a very cool dance.
Cool circa 1900s.
I look very cool right now. I don't know. I just feel like all over the place, but I kind of always feel all over the place. I just had a lot going on this weekend.
That's the hashtag ADHD.
Maybe. You've been off social media this whole entire time, like for
the last like 2 weeks. I've just been like, I'm either like on, it's like I think it's once again ADHD. I'm either like fixated on something or I'm like whatever about it. And I think a lot of times when I'm whatever about the job that is social media, I think oftentimes it has to do with mental health.
Yeah, I got you. Well, since you've been off of social media, you probably didn't see, but we went to an event, my husband and I, and the theme was like movies and like the Oscars and Academy Awards or whatever. And I knew that everybody was going to dress up as like movie couples, but I didn't want to do anything like really like typical or standard. So we dressed up as Chucky and the Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, Jennifer Tilly. Yeah. Actually, I did see that one.
Okay, good. So that was that this last week? Am I going 2 weeks back? No. Anyway, so that was it was on Friday. Yeah. So it really like,
I wish you showed more of your outfits though.
I know. The thing is I didn't want to show too much because I didn't want anybody to see where I was. Because it was at a place where people could find me and
then you go to the bathroom.
Are crazy.
Yeah.
So, but watching my husband, who is like 6'2", maybe 220, maybe like 230 pounds, 40 pounds. I don't know.
He's a big guy.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
In like overalls and like a Chucky costume.
Well, overalls I feel like are
intended for bigger bodies. I put them on. So big. They're so fun though.
Oh, I bet you should probably wear that out. I think it's like very stylish.
That's what I told him.
Now.
He's like, I don't know if I want to spend like, $80 on these overalls. I was like, I'm going to wear them. I'm like, all the kids are wearing them. Like, I will look so cool. They're really cute. I was like, they're so comfortable.
I've been actually wanting to buy overalls for like a while now, but I'm too scared to pull the trigger because I'm like, by the time I buy it, it's probably gonna be out of style. And then I'm like, how do you wear it? I was like, is it still cool to wear it just one strap? I was like, is that not cool anymore? I was like, I don't know.
Only if you're not wearing a shirt underneath it.
Why would I be wearing a shirt?
It'll be like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, except it'll be just you and me in a pair of overalls.
I thought you were going to say Sister Act, and I was like, yes.
But no. Oh, yeah, they all are wearing overalls in the final scene. No, but that actually speaks to what we're talking about, because that was like 90s, like late 90s.
Sister Act 2 is my favorite, one of my favorite movies of all time.
I think it was like late 90s, which is
partially because I'm like obsessed with Lauryn Hill.
Oh, she's incredible.
Yeah.
She's incredible. But I think, you know what? I will loan you the overalls and you can wear them. They're actually really cute. I really like them. So yeah. So coming down from that it was a lot because I had to dress up the entire family and I had like 2 hours to do it between.
Oh, the kids too? Wait, what did they dress up as? Were they part of?
Yeah, they were part of this like event. Was dressed up as a minion, which was really easy.
Oh, so they weren't part of you guys?
No, they had their own separate thing. And then
I thought you were going to dress them up as like victims or something. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Dark. That's really dark. Like not something I wouldn't do.
Yeah. And then not for a potential school thing.
Yeah, right. And then my other daughter, she did the theme was Beetlejuice for them, but there are only like 4 main characters in Beetlejuice, or like maybe 5. And I didn't want to dress her up like everybody else. Is like the mom and the dad, and then Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin's characters. Have you ever seen Beetlejuice?
Yeah. What about Winona Ryder?
Winona Ryder, and then Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
So, but like everybody in the class was doing those main characters, and I was like, I don't know.
But did anyone wear
wanted her to be different?
Red?
Yes.
Oh, they did.
Yes.
Wow.
And so I didn't want her to be dressed up as anybody, like the same as anybody else, because.
Oh my God! Did you dress her up as a sandworm?
No, I wish. I didn't have enough time. I dressed her up as Miss Argentina, who is the receptionist in the underworld. It was so awesome. I painted her all green, and she had like the little dress and like the sash that said like Miss Argentina, and I got her like this crazy red wig. It was so awesome.
Did anyone get it?
No one had any idea who she was.
They're like,
who is that?
Who are you?
But like, I'm always the like mom that's like extra when it comes to like costumes and stuff. I'm so fucking extra. And she was just like, no one's going to get it. I'm like, but you get it and I get it. And that's what matters. And
if
you look
one other
so
person
cool.
gets it, then you're like, you and me,
you're cool.
besties now.
Everybody else, you guys suck.
Yeah.
You're cool. You can hang out with us. So it was really fun. But doing events like that, it like sucks the life out of me. It's a lot to have to do that. But at least
it's still fun.
It's so fun.
Because like a lot of events suck the life out of you.
And then suck.
And they're not fun.
right. But I think I have that version of ADHD where I want to do something and I look so forward to doing it. I'm so excited. And then it comes and I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh no, that's all of ADHD.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm undiagnosed. But the more and more I like hear things and research things, I'm like, I'm pretty confident I have it.
So I don't know that much. I'm not a medical professional,
Right.
but from what I've been understanding from all the research that I've been doing, mostly TikTok videos, a lot of them were like psychiatrists and stuff. So,
they're
it's
valid.
legit. But I think a lot of it just has to do with how our brain processes stuff or chemicals. I'm not really sure. But I think with a lot of ADHD, our serotonin is different.
Maybe.
Like the way it releases or the way it processes.
That
So
makes
like
a
a
lot
lot
of
of times we chase serotonin. And that's why sometimes like, I don't know about you, I get hyperfixated on everything, including foods. There are certain foods I will eat every day for
and then you
months.
get sick of it.
And then I won't eat it again for like years.
Yeah,
it's because like the serotonin stops.
So interesting. That's really interesting.
Like literally last year, I've been thinking about making a TikTok video about this because people are going to watch you eat and be like, that's the most disgusting thing ever, but it's actually delicious. And I think when we first met, I think I brought it up to you and you were like, ew.
What was it?
It was peanut butter and pickles.
That's right. I was like, are you pregnant?
Yeah, because that's literally what I used to tell people. I was like, I think I'm pregnant. Because I was like, I'm having this weirdest.
Well, no, because pickles and maple syrup was one of my pregnancy foods. I would eat that all the time.
Because I know that a lot of women crave pickles for some reason when they're pregnant with like some sort of
something sweet.
Yeah.
It's because you're so fucking, I don't know.
Hormones,
You need something sour. There's no rhyme or reason to cravings.
Yeah. But one day, that's basically what happened. I just randomly was like, oh, I want a snack. I'm hungry. And I was like, we had pickles. We had bread and butter pickles, which like aren't my favorites normally. But for some reason, with peanut butter, they're amazing. And I just was like, I just randomly went, I was like, I wonder what pickles and peanut butter are like.
Maybe we should have our mother get, or like our formerly pregnant listeners write in what their craziest pregnancy cravings were, and then we'll try them.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That'll be
especially if they're cultural or Asian.
Yes.
Please.
Because there are some crazy combinations of things that people will eat when they are pregnant.
I'll eat them.
The things that I ate when I was pregnant, I was like, what am I doing?
Wait, but real quick, peanut butter and pickles. Specifically for me, it was crunchy peanut butter, and I only eat like the non-sweetened kind because I have gout and kidney stones. But with bread and butter pickles, but specifically this one brand from Sprouts. And I'm sure they're all good, but I just got really hyperfixated on this, and I ate it every day for like 6 months. And I got like
6 months.
Yeah, and like I got really hyper fixated on it. And I remember when I first started it, I was like, I think I just came up with this genius combination. And my roommate, our producer, Ron, he's like, that's exists.
Very common.
He's like, that's a thing that people eat. And everyone's always like, this is crazy. And a bunch of other people are like, ew, that's gross. And I'm like, but like I got 2 of my friends to try it, and they were both very surprised of how good it was, even though they thought that it was going to be gross.
Did you ever put it in a sandwich?
So how I would eat it is I would toast a piece of bread.
Okay.
I put peanut butter on it.
Yeah.
And then I would get sliced bread and butter pickles, and then I'd put them on top, and then I would eat it.
So it's like an open face, almost like an avocado toast, but
It
very
was,
different.
but like very confusingly delicious.
No, but it makes sense, right?
I'm sure the first person who was like, hey, I put a fried egg on avocado on top of bread, they were probably like,
that's gross.
That's weird and gross. Yeah.
Yeah. Even things like I can't eat eggs after a certain time of day. I know it's weird. Like after like 11:30 a.m. or like noon, I can't eat eggs after that. I just can't. I don't know why.
I don't understand what that means. Eggs are, because I eat eggs all day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The rationality of the things that I eat and don't eat, or like things that I will or won't eat, is like totally irrational.
That's so
I'm like,
confusing.
I'm sorry, I can't eat eggs. It's 1:30. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's like something for breakfast and I can't eat it after. I don't know where that thought came from out of my head.
I had an ex-girlfriend that was weird with eggs. She wouldn't eat the egg yolk except if it was fried and runny.
But she wouldn't eat like hard boiled if it was runny?
Or like a hard
like poached?
Fried egg, or like the yolk of a poached. It was like, poached eggs, yes, because it was runny.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
What the fuck were we talking about?
I don't know.
How was your week?
Yeah, wait.
We haven't even got past the week.
I think you were still talking about your week.
And I think, well.
Oh, yeah, with the school.
The school thing. And then.
That somehow turned into peanut butters and pickles because that's my
that's
ADHD.
How
because you started talking about ADHD. Yeah. Yes. It is so satisfying when you remember where things, because like oftentimes when you have ADHD
Tangents.
specifically, you get lost.
Right. That's funny.
So satisfying.
But yeah, that's my week. And the rest has just been work and craziness.
Our ADHD conversation was your week.
Basically. And that's it. That's the end of my week.
And screen.
Fade to black.
Fade to black. That's it.
How was your weekend?
I think I had another week that just like disappeared into nothingness.
Yeah,
it was just filled with a lot of work, you know, especially when you like sit behind a computer and you're like editing and then you're like editing a video or whatever that takes days. Like they just blend together.
Yeah.
And
time and space just becomes like one.
Yeah. And at least when I make videos, when I make TikTok videos, at the very least, it feels, I like at least know what days happened, you know, because oftentimes I'm like reporting stuff and I'm like on this Tuesday, on this date, at this time. But when I don't make those videos, it's like more, I just lose track of more time.
I hear you. I totally understand.
Yeah.
That's okay though. Sometimes we need weeks to just kind of melt away and just.
No, that's how you get old at the blink of an eye.
It's happening regardless of how you blink, sir.
That's why you want to remember what happened.
You can blink however the fuck you want because time is doing whatever time's going to do. And that's exactly what brings me to what I'm doing later today.
Yeah. Which is?
I have my injectables appointment today, which is something that I do.
Injectables. That's such a weird word because I feel like we're making it like Uncrustables, but it's like involves needles. It's like we're cutesying up this
talk
thing.
about peanut butter any chance you get, Ed. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. I go through jars of peanut butter a week. I love peanut butter. But yes, it's like trying to cutesy up something that a lot of people are scared about, needles.
Yeah, you know, maybe, I guess. But what am I going to say? I'm going into my needle appointment? That could be anything. Like acupuncture.
I don't mean to laugh.
Drugs. Who knows?
It is
It
not
could be anything.
a very serious topic.
So I, about every 3 to 4 months, go and get my injectables, which constitutes of just a little bit of Botox. And sometimes I get my lips done depending on how I'm feeling about it. And I feel like it's something that I think a lot of women do, or like the majority of women I know do it. Maybe it's because of where we live. I mean, we live in LA, so there's a lot of that. But I know most women do it that I know of that are over a certain age. Like, I'm not young. You know, I'm going to be 48 in October, and it's like...
Well, you're not old.
No, but I also don't have...
The Gen Z people will tell you you're old. But
I mean, they
blink
tell me...
your eyes, motherfuckers.
They fucking tell me that I'm just a bag of dust, and I might as well be dead. I'm like, well, thank you very much. That's
also,
very painful of me to
not
say.
to age shame, but we're not the same age, so please stop grouping us together.
Fuck you, you young piece of shit.
I'm going to hold on to my 20-year-old
Yeah, all right. You know what?
forehead for as long as possible.
That's the thing, though, is like... I feel like as a woman that is Asian, I constantly feel like I'm always supposed to look young because there's this like stereotype that Asian women don't age. And it's like, yeah, we fucking do. Like, what are you talking about? Like, of course we do.
At a different rate.
Maybe. I mean, like, sure. I do look at my peers that are of the same age as me and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
You look older.
I think that's part of the reason why I have a hard time shutting down my Facebook.
Because you like seeing people.
I don't like seeing it.
Yes, you do.
I'm not like, yes, you got old. But I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I look good for my age, I guess, I think, maybe.
What I think is really interesting. So my 30-year high school reunion is coming up this year.
Oh, that is terrifying.
It's really crazy. And a lot of people are like, are you going? I'm like, yeah, of course I'm going. Like,
oh my God, one of my best friends literally texted me yesterday and she was like, do you know it's been 15 years since we graduated college? And I was like, oh my God, that makes me feel old.
See? So... And I want to go, but what's really interesting that I've found, and obviously everybody ages at a very different rate, and I'm not trying to compare or like shame anybody for the way that they're aging, but like I went to Facebook for the first time in like maybe a year. I did never go on Facebook because that's where they said I could find, you know, the information about the reunion.
Oh, always.
And so I go on it and I look at all the people from my class, and it was so strange how some people looked almost exactly the same, and then
just
some
slightly
people
older.
Just slightly older, and then some people I'm like,
you're a middle-aged person.
No, but like even older than that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
you look like you could be my dad's age, and I'm like, and I don't know if like obviously like the way people how you live and like you know how you maintain how you look, whatever. Like we're all different, but the range I felt was like it really was impactful. I was like, this is surprising. I expected us to all be kind of similar, but a lot of us in certain racial demographics looked different than those of us of other racial demographics.
She says different. She means better. She means better. She means better.
I didn't say better.
I did.
Don't cancel me again. Like, but I was really like, whoa. But, you know, I think that the conversation around like cosmetic surgeries and, you know, injectables and, you know, the things that we do to like try to maintain youthfulness is something that a lot of people are even like sometimes afraid to talk about. And I'm like, I don't think it's a big deal. I'm so open about it. I'm like, yeah, I get Botox. Of course I get Botox. Like, is that like, I don't know. I don't know how some people feel really weird about it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's like shame. Maybe it's because people shame them because I don't know. But I mean, realistically, how is it any different than like makeup?
Well, right. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, like, have you seen those videos where like people don't look anything like they do after they put on makeup?
It's true.
You know what I mean?
True.
Like, you do whatever you can to make yourself feel better, look good, to feel confident. Like, who cares?
You know,
does it affect you? No.
No. Right. You know, my mom,
unless you're that. Do you remember that meme from a couple of years ago? Where that guy in China supposedly
married that woman and then sued
them?
her because she had ugly children or his perception of ugly children.
But did you know that whole thing was a scam? It was fake.
It was fake?
It was fake.
How come? If you don't know what this is, like, did we describe it well enough? There was a couple in China, and this man had married what he perceived as a beautiful young woman.
She was beautiful.
Yeah, and then they had children, and the children were perceived as unattractive to the father, and then he divorced her and then sued her for, what was it?
It was like claiming fraud.
Right.
Basically.
Because she had tons of plastic surgery and wasn't the person that he thought that he had married.
And she didn't tell him, and he didn't find out that she had plastic surgery till they had kids. And the kids, I think at this point, the way they made it seem like they were like, at least in grade school, they were like somewhere between like 5 to 10 years old. And like, you can tell, like, it looked Photoshopped, but it looked like they slightly had like piggy noses and stuff. Yeah.
Like,
and
they were like almost not human looking.
So like this part didn't go viral, but the whole thing was faked. It was a faked social media campaign for a plastic surgery place.
Really?
Yeah.
But wouldn't you not? That feels like a counterintuitive way to.
No, because the whole idea is that like we are so good that no one will even know you had plastic
but also
surgery.
We're so good. Your husband's gonna divorce your ass for lying. That's crazy.
I don't know.
Or like,
but it went super viral.
You'll be pretty, but your kids will still be ugly. It's like their tagline. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, you're so pretty, your kids won't even look like you.
But that's the fucked up thing about like being a woman, and like aging as a woman is a fucking trip. Yeah. It is such a fucking trip because the thing is like we're constantly told that we're supposed to look young and that we have to maintain our youth. We have to use these products. We have to do this type of surgery. We have to wear these types of clothes in our hair. I even remember like on TikTok not long ago, like if you were a millennial woman and you were parting your hair on the side, that's how everybody knew you were old. And like you had to part your hair down. Like all these like little things that we are kind of inundated with on how to look and maintain our youth. And then when you get to the age where you actually have to start doing them, people are like, you know, age gracefully. You look like a, you know, what are you doing to yourself? You shouldn't have to get like, well, which is it?
Yeah, because then if you don't, then it's like, oh my gosh, she's aging so horribly.
She looks so old.
Yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
And it's kind of fucked up. And I'm like, I'm going to now just kind of do what I want to feel good about myself and fuck everybody else. Like my mom is in her late 70s. She's very close to 80 years old. And oh my God, no, is she 80? Anyway. And my mother was a former like beauty queen, like literal beauty queen, like won like beauty pageants and stuff. And so I wasn't going to talk about this, but she's had work done. I won't go into the details of what she's had done, but we were talking about light stuff. And we talked about it. And she's like, you know, I was like, what made you decide to do that? And she's like, you know, I just started to feel invisible. And I was like, oh, what a horrible thing to feel. And she's like, I went from being this like youthful, like beauty, and men would like look at me and I just felt always so good about myself. And then I just started to realize that nobody was looking at me. and I could walk anywhere and nobody noticed me anymore. And I was like, what a heartbreaking feeling. What, like the amount of pressure to feel that way, to feel like you no longer have value, like social value, because you just walk through a room and feel unnoticed is like, that's fucked up and it's painful. And I was like, but do you feel better now? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, but in doing what I did, I realized it wasn't for anybody else. Cause at that point I just felt good about myself. And I felt like I looked really good, that I didn't care if anybody was looking at me anymore. And I was like, if we can all get there, like if I can get there, that's kind of where I want to be. And it's weird. Like, you know, when you become a mother or you know, I'm over, 45 years old, you start to feel like, do I have value in the way that I did before I turned 35 years old or whatever? And like, do I care about that? Is important. You have a lot of these like existential questions that go on in your mind about, your value as a woman. And obviously my value as a woman is not placed in my appearance.
Right.
But that doesn't mean society doesn't feel that way.
Right,
and it doesn't mean that I don't feel the pressures from society in that way. So right now I just do a little light maintenance. I get a little, plump my lips up a little bit, get my forehead in check. Although I was very, very close, being totally honest. I followed this wonderful facial plastic surgeon, Jesus Christ, a wonderful facial plastic surgeon from up north. His name is Dr. Prem. Shout out to Dr. Prem on TikTok. He's amazing. And I was very close to DMing him like, what are we talking? Like, what are we setting aside for the rainy day facelift fund? Like, is it like 5,000? Is it like 30,000? Cause like there is going to be an echelon of price where I just get priced out and I'm like, I'm just going to have a weird neck for the rest of my life. That's just how it's going to have to be. And I was like really close to like messaging him, but he might hear this and DM me himself. But you just kind of, I don't know, like I joke that like, I want to walk into a plastic surgeon's office and have him shake me like a fucking pillowcase. And then whatever skin is left at the top, just cut that off and sew me back together.
God. I was like, where are you going?
Just like shake it and like the excess, just cut it off. Gone, done. But that's all social pressure, right?
I was like, wait, how saggy is my skin?
It's just getting like looser and like longer.
Yeah.
It's just changing the way I don't want to look like anybody else. I don't want to be like Ollie London and try to like look like another person or change like anything about me. I just want to look how I know I look or have looked. That's all.
That's weird. We're actually talking about this because yesterday or 2 days ago, I got hyper-fixated on this one account that just popped up on my feed of this guy. His username is I got my knees done, which is a reference from White Chicks. If you remember the part where the girls see the Wayans brothers dressed up as women for the first time, and they're like, "You look taller." And one of them, she's like, "Yeah, we got our knees done." So that it already, because I like immediately was like, "Is that a White Chicks reference?" So I like clicked on it. This guy got leg extension surgery.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, so like initially I got fixated because I was like,
was he a little person?
No. So like that's the reason why I got initially fixated, because I was trying to find the reason why he was getting leg lengthening surgery. And then finally, like an hour later.
Just short?
No, he was 6 feet tall. But I don't think he identifies as a bodybuilder. I think he identifies as like a strongman weightlifter.
Oh, okay.
He's huge. He's like a house. He's literally like that house guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Bear? House. What was
Wall?
his name? Wait, what was it? God damn
Giant.
it.
The wall was the separate part of the
Mountain? The mountain.
Mountain. Yes.
Was it mountain?
Was it?
That doesn't sound right. Wall? Why does wall sound
Now
right?
I have to know.
Either way.
Okay, I'm going to look it up while you do that.
He's like larger than that guy. He's huge. But he had this one post where he showed that he showed the photo and he was like, see how my legs look stumpy because I'm so wide? He said that the bigger he got, he started hating the way he looked more because it just showed how the proportion of his legs seemed. He was like, I know I would look better at this size if I was just a little bit taller.
How much height did he gain from it?
He's still going through it. He's like in the last 3/4 of his journey because it's like a 6-month process.
That's so he really got like painful.
Yeah, he had to do this tibias first, which is the bottom part of your legs.
What do they do? Like fracture it? And then
so they fracture the top and the bottom part. Then they insert pins that go in. And then there's this metal bar that sticks out. And they just slowly make it longer. And as your body heals the bones, it starts to fill in those gaps. So it starts...
It regenerates it.
It regenerates it. And then he has to do the same thing in his fibia bone, which is the largest, strongest, hardest bone in your body. But that one is different. I think they install pins and then they have some sort of weird magnetic machine that does magical science.
Magnet
science? And then somehow makes his, his femur. That's what I meant. Femur. Yeah. His femur bigger. So I just was like, so intrigued. So he's almost at his journey. He wants to be around 6'6",
which now makes I had my knees done so funny.
So funny because he did that. He literally had a post where he was like, for all those people who are confused by my name, he's like, it's about white chicks. And I was like, everything about this is so satisfying. I was like, I knew why you picked the name. I know why you have the surgery. You know what I mean? And, I wish you well. He went all the way to Turkey for it, but it was just like, very validating in the fact that do whatever makes you happy. Right. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else.
I think that goes for everything, right? Do what makes you happy if you're not hurting anybody else. Now, but then there's the other side of the spectrum where not that plastic surgery obviously could ever hurt anybody else, but there are some things like some plastic surgeries I've seen that I'm like, that is...
Well, that's not necessarily true. Ollie London kind of hurt a whole community.
Do you know what's happening with him now?
Nothing is an absolute in life.
That's
just
true.
FYI.
That's the absolute truth.
No, I don't.
So he's undone, or
he's done with.
No, he's undone the surgeries. He's reversed them.
Oh, he reversed them.
So he identified first as
not even as a race. He just identified as Jimin.
Right. He identified as Jimin, and he was trying to become Korean. And then he said that he was trans, and then he wanted to become a Korean woman. Then he said that he no longer was trans or Korean and was now back to being just himself. And now he's the alt-right's sweetheart or something like that.
God, of course
it's really crazy. I mean,
crazy.
I don't know much about what he's doing now, but.
So yes, that man singularly did so many fucked up shit to communities, Asian people, the trans community.
Yes, so he's hurt everyone. And so now people are saying that you can be transracial, or that transracial and transgender do not exist because you can just undo it whenever you feel like. And it's so yes, there is somebody, the one person that found a way to make themselves doing what their own self is doing hurt other people. Yeah. He found a way to do it.
Yeah.
Good job, dude. Good job.
Anything is possible, really.
Yeah, there is
the takeaway.
No. Would you ever have plastic surgery?
I've thought about that for a while. I don't know. I think I'm more scared to.
Really?
/ I don't really have, my biggest insecurity was my weight. And I don't think I need surgery for that. I don't know what I would even get surgery on, to be honest with you. I know before we started recording, I made a joke that my forehead, for those of you watching on YouTube,
this is very annoying for anybody who has a forehead.
Yeah, I'm sorry
for warning you. Trigger warning.
All of those,
trigger warning. Annoying.
Yeah, for all of you with foreheads, I apologize in advance. But my forehead just won't wrinkle.
I can't even make my forehead have wrinkles, and they tried so hard. Shut up, Ed.
I was telling Susie, I was like, people aren't even going to believe that I've never had Botox. It's my forehead just won't. It won't wrinkle. And
I was like, do you have some neurological damage?
Maybe, but either way, it's beneficial.
How is that possible? It's okay. So it's not for me, it's not changing my face. It's the skin on my neck is really long now, and my forehead, it doesn't feel it just feels like my face is melting off of my skull.
So you keep saying
I don't know how else to describe it. I feel like my eyelids are getting heavy because I have the Singapore, but my eyelid is starting to come over the Singapore. So that's something that's going to be I think insurance might cover that.
Wait. I read this article about a week ago that stated that there's this plastic surgery that men are getting now in like their 40s where all they do is get the excess skin removed from their eyelids.
My dad had that.
Yeah, and they said that instantly makes you look 10 to 15 years younger.
He had it because he was starting to not be able to see because the skin was getting
oh my gosh.
so long that it was.
So was that covered by insurance? Because it was like
it was absolutely covered by insurance.
Oh,
he's like, I had plastic surgery too, and I was like, you did? He's like, come over. And I went over to his house. I was like, what did you do? He's like, look at my eyes. He was so excited, but he was like, but I had to because I couldn't see it. I was like, oh, that's crazy.
I'm just picturing your dad being like, guess what I got done? While like opening his eyes as wide and creepily as possible. And you're like, what are you doing, Dad?
My dad's the kind of guy, like when he gets like new shoes, he'll just wear them and he'll just stand and tap his toe until we notice.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Hey, Dad, you get new shoes. He's
but imagine doing that for your eyes. It's like,
that's how
hey, do you notice anything different?
So
yeah, or you're being creepy, Dad.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Or like he gets a new jacket, he'll just stand there with his hand on his hip. But
being a model.
That's the thing is like, I don't want to change how I look. I like how I look. I've always liked how I look, but I just feel like everything just feels
that's what I mean.
I feel like a candle.
I don't know now, but ask me in 10 years and I might be like,
we'll find out if your forehead ever moved.
15 deep. Yeah, you know?
So Ed, it's been about a decade. Has your forehead moved yet?
No, because I started getting Botox.
It's preventative. And that's the thing too, is like, I'm just trying to like mitigate what I know will happen. You know, so the less I wrinkle my forehead, the less I, crinkle my crow's feet, the better I'll be later.
But I'm open to it. Like I've been thinking about a chemical peel, which I feel like are baby steps to plastic surgery.
That hurts.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's painful.
I mean, it does have the word chemical in it, but so many people get it done that I was like, oh, it must be nothing.
I've seen people get like their blood reintroduced to their faces.
I want that so bad.
Where they I think they take it and they put it in like a centrifuge and they like separate the white blood cells.
Oh, fuck, that's what J-Lo gets done, isn't it?
It must be.
I don't know what J-Lo is doing, but you need to stop hoarding that shit and tell us what you're doing. Because
it's so mean. And honestly, the truth, J-Lo, is most of us can't afford it anyway. So just let the cat out of the bag, and those who can get it can get it.
Yeah, it's not not a shame. Like J-Lo, there's a couple people that I'm like, what the fuck? Like J-Lo, what the fuck is Tom Cruise doing? Because they keep showing photos of him and people that are the same age, and you're like, the math isn't mathing.
Okay, this might be before your time. Have you ever seen a movie called Death Becomes Her?
It's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I don't know a lot of people some people, it's like a cult classic.
That was the movie that made me fall in love with Goldie Hawn.
I love Goldie Hawn so much.
I'm like, I love you.
I love her so much. So that movie made me think about that movie when you were talking about like, what do they do? And I'm like, they must have drank that little elixir.
I think they did. And they're going to have to retire in 5 years because we're on to you.
Right. There's no way. What J-Lo is like in her 50s and she looks like she's 35. It's crazy. And not just her face, like her body, her skin, like she must be drinking like the blood of babies or something.
What did you do to that rubber band skin of yours to make it snap back?
I'm telling you, there's some kind of sacrificial blood that she drinks or something.
Because I haven't gotten anything done, but one of my biggest fears is aging. Mm-hmm. So it's probably going to happen unless
the aging?
God gifts me with like aging so gracefully. Like if Burt Reynolds, Burt Reynolds towards the end got really bad plastic surgery.
Yeah. Mickey Rourke, Val Kilmer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to shame any of those people, but that's not the look I want for me.
Or let's just say it was just evident that they had.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like as of like earlier this year, I started getting this like sunspot here, and I think it was just, mine, I don't know if it's really a sunspot or if I like missed the spot with my sunscreen.
It could be hormonal. A lot of like melasma and discoloration comes from like hormonal things.
God damn, I have to stop eating dairy.
That's why there's something called a pregnancy mask. So when you get pregnant, your body's producing so much estrogen. A lot of women start to get like a lot of freckles, or we'll start getting age spots or like, discoloration, like around our mouths and around, our, various parts of our faces because of the hormones.
And what is this?
So maybe you really are pregnant.
Wait, what does this mask do? It just sucks it out?
No. That's what they call the discoloration is the mask. Discoloration.
I thought there was this mask you guys
You're like, where can I buy one?
need this.
No, the discoloration itself is what we call the mask.
But I hear chemical peels help get rid of those discolorations, right?
I think so.
Many times.
I think so, yes. I've had...
At the lieu of having your face literally burned off of your skin.
Right. At this point, just do whatever you want. I don't care. Like, I'm the kind of person, like I had to get like bone grafting done in my jaw, which is something else I want to tell you about.
What is that?
Okay. First of all, there was this AI
I'm so
filter.
scared of where this is going.
Okay, just listen. Okay, so this is crazy. So there's this AI filter, and every time I try it, it takes my teeth away.
Yeah.
You saw that, right? And so whenever I smile in the AI filter, like I have no teeth. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, that's fucked up.
You
and
in
it's
20
just
years.
me.
Yeah.
Then
Let's see in 20 years.
then I see this other person do this TikTok with the AI filter, and it's like this voiceover, this like text that says like the AI filter can detect health problems, and they did it, and they like had this like one like glowing eye, and they I guess had like a lost vision in their one eye, and it's so dumb, right? Then I remembered that I have bone grafting in my jaw because I was going to lose my front teeth because I have really weak jaw bones. Then I went to the dentist very shortly thereafter, and she told me that now I'm losing jawbone on the other side, and that I have to get either the bone grafting again, or I have to get one of those teeth drill. Like they have to remove my tooth and put a new tooth in, like one of those fake teeth. What's it called?
Cap?
Not like a denture, but like no, they like have to remove the tooth, fix the bone, and then put one of those. What's it called?
An implant.
Not a veneer, an implant. Yes, I'm either gonna have to do the bone grafting or the implant. So the AI filter was trying to tell me that I'm having bone loss, and that's why I have no teeth in all those pictures.
That's fucking freaky.
It's really freaky, and I'm not just saying that like.
Then what about all the people that they keep turning into men into women?
Or like into like stones, or like turning them.
But that
into,
was that one. I think that was the one AI filter that does, because I tried that one and it turned me into a stone god. And I was like, why do I not look like this? I was like, why? Why do I not look like this?
Well, so what I'm telling you is that like, if I can undergo what happened, I have like cadaver, like blood bone in my grafted bone in my face. There's a TikToker.
She says cadaver, but that means
Dead person. So he had the same thing done, and he calls the bone grafting Tammy the face ghost because it's a dead person that he named Tammy. It's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
So like I have like cadaver bone grafting in my jaw, and I'm gonna have to get it done again. And like I said, it was the AI filter that was trying to tell me that that's what that was.
Was that painful?
Oh my God, it was so insane. So I don't want to get too heavily into it, but the dentist was wearing like one of those face shields because there was so much like blood like spraying all over the place.
Oh, the clear ones.
Yeah. But you can see your
When
reflection in it.
you said that, for some reason, I was thinking like a MF Doom mask, and I was like, that's terrifying.
I don't know what that is. Is that like one of those ball gags?
No, with like... MF Doom was this
like
rapper.
a leather zipper.
So he was a rapper, and he wore this mask all the time.
What? Why would you think my dentist would wear that?
Because you said full face mask, and that's the first thing that popped to my head.
I'm already terrified. No, but like it was like...
Susie.
No, it's just like the suction thing.
I'm your dentist.
But it was like one of those like face shields, I should have said.
Yeah.
But you can see your reflection in it. So I could see everything that he was doing.
Nope.
It was so gnarly. He basically like took my gums off and like did the shit.
I don't want to know this
like
anymore.
put the bone, it was like jelly. It was like this like jelly, and then he put it in and then just basically sewed it all back together again.
I don't know what any of that means. It's still terrifying.
So the healing was really painful. It was kind of traumatizing, but I was like, I can get through it. You know what I mean? Like you just put your headphones on, and like, I guess I feel like at this point after what my first childbirth was like, I was like, I can do anything now. There's nothing I can't.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a difference between experiencing the pain and then seeing it. Clearly I was referencing the birthing because...
I was like, what's that?
Because like, for instance, like the closest thing I ever had was like, I had an ingrown toenail in high school because I was at like a bookstore in Korea at the time. I was wearing flip-flops, and someone dropped this really heavy book corner right onto the edge of my toe. And then it was fine. It turned purple, but it was like nothing happened. But then it started growing like little angled.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't go away. And like 6 months in of hobbling around with my toe purple, I finally was like, you know what? I don't think this is going to go away. And I have to go to the doctor now. And it was so bad that they had to rip out half of my toenail. Ugh. So like my left big toe, this is TMI, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know how this got. We just decided we're just going to go stream of consciousness, and this is what you get. Okay, because I'm about to tell you another really crazy story.
This is not different than any other episode. No. Ed just diarrheas whatever's in his head. But now my left big toe only has half a toe that grows out. But like, because it's something that's visible during the operation, because, you know, they just put local anesthesia in there. They don't knock you out or anything. I looked down and the doctor immediately was like, stop looking, because I guess all the blood started, like, literally, he was like, your face is pale. And he's like, you're about to throw up and pass out. I was like, uh-huh. So, like, I'm very squeamish. So, like, I can deal with the pain because, like, I didn't realize this until, like, 2 weeks ago. But apparently, if you smoke marijuana, anesthesia, they have to up your anesthesia.
Got it.
Because I guess something, it cancels out a little bit. So, you have to tell them stuff like that. So, if you're listening, you smoke weed and stuff.
Be honest with your doctor.
Be honest with your doctor, because they're not trying to get you in trouble. They're trying to make sure you don't die or suffer. So like I felt a little pain, and then at first I was like, I still feel that. And he's like, okay, and he gave me a bunch more. So like I could deal with the pain. Yeah. But seeing it.
Oh, see, I think I'm the kind of person who's like, if I see it, I feel more like in control of it, because I can like. So this is gonna get graphic. I hope you're okay with this, but.
I won't be.
It's actually not that bad. It's actually not as bad as my birth story. You. So I had
but your birth story wasn't graphically described
because I tried to keep that from you. Because I'll save it for another day.
Thank you. No, save it for when I experience it in real life and I pass out. Sorry, future wife.
If you're just watching somebody, I mean, my husband was very close to passing out.
I have very strong empathy skills.
It's really gnarly. My sister, who was like 7 months pregnant at the time, was my birth coach, and she is confident that she has PTSD from it because she like blacked out.
Yeah, see.
So but she didn't like faint, but she like can't. She like remembers bits and pieces of it, but it comes in like very like violent flashes. And I'm like, sorry about that. Her
brain's like, no, we're deleting this. My birth was
so traumatizing. She's like, oh my god, am I going to be like this too?
Oh right, because she's 7 months pregnant.
Yeah. So after I had my first daughter, I got really bad varicose veins because of all the weight and whatever. But one of my veins had like. It was like atrophying or it was like dying or like whatever. And it like stuck out of my leg like far. I was like, that's really gross looking and I don't like it. Just cosmetically and like also like I feel like it's like not good for me. Like I don't want like a blood clot or like whatever. So those two things combined compels me to go see a doctor. So I go see a doctor and he says like we can remove it. I was like, you're just gonna remove my veins? Like don't I need that? It's like part of like the whole system. Whatever. He's like
blood?
He's
stuff?
He's like, you just cauterize it and the blood will reroute and you'll be fine. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, it's just gonna be 2 small incisions, and then we just, you know, we remove the vein. I was like, okay, that doesn't sound that bad. And I was like, you're not gonna like put me out or anything. He's like, no. He's like, but don't look. And I was like, oh, okay. So he like puts me on the like kind of operating table, and he like leans, he like kind of reclines it back, so like my head is down, like past my like legs. I can't see.
So you're sitting still.
I'm kind of like in like a recliner.
Yeah. But you're not fully laying down.
No, I'm not fully laying down. So I'm just kind of like reclined, but my feet are elevated.
Yeah.
And he like, you know, puts like a topical anesthetic and I can't really see, I don't know what's going on. And I was like, is it okay if I look? He's like, no, I really don't recommend it. I was like, I really want to. He's like, okay, if you really want to. He's like, it's your body. And I look and I was like, oh my God, that's so gnarly. He's like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, is that my vein? He's like, yeah. So what it looked like, I can see there's 2 incisions and the vein is coming out of it. And he has like what looks like you know what a tuning fork is? You know, it's like just like a
that you hit on a surface and then it makes a noise and then you use that noise to tune your instruments.
Right. Yeah. He looks like he's holding a tuning fork.
I played cello.
Oh, that's right. And oh my God, I'm so sorry. And it looks like he's twirling a gray piece of spaghetti.
Ew, it was gray?
Yeah, because it was like a dead vein. So
it wasn't like covered in blood. I would assume it's like, you know when you have like a blood clot in your nose you pull out and it's like.
It was bloody, but you could see that it was gray. And he was like, I can't believe you're watching. I'm like, that is fascinating that you're just in there taking my vein out of my leg. And he's like, I'm more fascinated that you're not freaking the fuck out. I was like, I'm just weird like that. Like but what's weird is like, if it's happening to me, I'm okay. But if it happens to somebody else, I can't look. Like when my daughters get hurt and there's like blood and stuff, I can't look. But if it was me, I'd be like, oh, it's fine. I'll just sew it myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's not a big deal. God, but like when my daughters get hurt or like they have a splinter or like when they pull their teeth out, I can't do it. I cannot do it. Have you ever watched a child try to pull their own tooth out? Were you one of those kids? My niece will just take it and she'll just crank at it, and she's like, she just
I
like
never
this, and she goes,
actually pulled it out. But there were times when I was like, I'm gonna pull it out, and then I was like, I'm a wimp.
I can't do it. My mom is a wimp too, like that. Like I remember, you tie the tooth with a dental floss and you push
Slam the
head.
door.
No, my mom would like push our heads back and like pull, but she wouldn't have the guts to pull, so she just like slap us in the face. I'm like, like that's not working. That's not good. You're not doing a good job.
Yeah. No, all of my teeth, I waited till they naturally fell out because there were times when like I literally tied my tooth around my tooth and then tied it to the doorknob and I was gonna slam it. And I was like, no, we're not doing this. I was like,
that's really funny. How our conversation.
This was supposed to be about beauty standards.
So I guess we'll regroup at some point, but I guess we're just talking about surgery stories now. But that's how.
Welcome to our brains.
Work. This is how it's just going to have to work
scattered.
out. But yeah, like I said, like if it happens to me, like if I had like my toe was like hanging off my foot, I'd be like, this sucks. I gotta figure that out. But if it happens to somebody else, okay, if it's somebody that I love or care about, I can't do it. But if it's a stranger, I can. Is that weird?
No, I mean, it makes sense. I just can't do it anyway. If there's just, I can like a toenail hanging off, I can do. It's like gnarly, fleshy, bloody stuff.
See, I can do that if it's somebody that I don't know. Like I remember my ex-boyfriend and he was like a med student, and we came upon this like motorcycle accident. And I guess the girl wasn't wearing a helmet, and she had fallen, and she was still conscious and she was okay, but like a flap of her like forehead.
No.
Flap of your ears. A flap of her. We should probably do a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode. But there was like a flap of skin just like hanging like over her face. And he was like, go get, he like got this like towel from his car.
No.
And we were like pressing it against. He's like, just hold this here. I was like, okay. But I had to like flap the skin back. But I was like, oh no, like bacteria or whatever.
How did you guys go from driving by to helping?
Well, because he was like a med student. He was just like, he was like a fucking hero. I don't know. He was just like, we have to help them. I was like, okay, the other guy though is like having like a seizure. So he's like tending to him. And it was like really crazy. It was really scary. And the guy had a helmet on. So we couldn't like, he didn't know like if he was like conscious or like whatever. And so he's trying to like help this guy who's having a seizure. So I'm over here helping the girl. And I don't know if she had a helmet and it flew off or I don't know what happened. So I'm just trying to like stop the blood because there was so much blood.
I hate that story.
And so like I wasn't squeamish then, but if it happened like to like my husband, I don't know if I could do it, or like my sister.
It was so funny while you were saying that, like when it happens to other people, it's not. And I was like, yeah, me too. And I was like, wait,
this
you
is
idiot.
a
I was
lie.
like, you literally cover your eyes in movies. I was like, you're a liar. It's like, you're a liar.
I think for me is like knowing that somebody that I love is in pain is something that like I can't withstand. Like it's too hard for me to like, and maybe that again speaks to like empathy or something, but then again, when I watched my sister give birth, I was like, come on, Monica, push, God damn it. You can do it.
No, yeah. Like I get like empathic pains.
Oh, like you actually like physically feel it?
I don't know if I physically feel it.
It does happen to some people.
I can imagine it to the point where like, I don't know if feeling is the right word, but there is like a ghost. You know what I mean? My brain goes towards where I think your brain goes going through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I understand.
And like, that's why like, even like, I love horror movies. There's something adrenaline about horror movies, even if it's like the kitschy follows a formula. Like, I love them. I spent a lot of my high school years just like watching horrible 80s horror movies. Like, but either way, damn it. I was trying not to say like anymore, and I'm pretty sure I said it like 500 times already this episode, but
I wasn't conscious of it, but now I'm gonna be like, I was gonna start a tally, an imaginary tally right by my face.
You have 20 hands to count that eye.
I meant my imaginary chalkboard, Ed.
But yeah, I love watching scary movies, and like I watched every single one of the Saw series, but like half of the movie was me watching it like this. And like I'll cover my eyes, but like I'll just try to see the parts where the gore isn't happening just so I know when it stops.
See, the gore stuff, it bothers me. Like I don't really like it. It's the torture part that I can't watch. Like the torture, I'm like, oh God, I can't watch that.
All of it, I can't watch it.
Why do you watch it?
Because I don't know. I have this like, I don't know what this is because none of my therapists ever told me, but I have this obsession with needing to grow and like putting myself constantly in uncomfortable situations.
But is that growth?
No, that's not growth. I think somewhere along the line, I think I got addicted to that feeling.
I was going to say, I feel like that sounds more just like...
it's masochistic.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like to me.
I do think I have some of that.
Yeah. Oh, Ed, don't do that.
Yeah.
Sounds really gnarly.
Yeah, no, I can't watch any of it because I immediately just go to, because like I've felt immense pain, you know, from stuff that I felt. Maybe not to the degree of like having your forehead lift off like
but
a
I think
carpet.
at that point you don't feel anything anyway.
Oh, so you think? I don't know, but
I think your body just shuts down.
Goes in the shock. Yeah. But yeah, I can imagine it, and I can't.
So beauty standards.
Does it even really matter?
Doesn't even really matter.
I mean, the topic and beauty standards. So
well, I mean, I guess we arrived here because of, you know, talking about surgeries and talking about like, well, and that's the thing, right? So withstanding that kind of trauma to your body, withstanding that kind of pain, the recoveries of those things.
Look at you trying to bring it back.
I mean, I'm a circle back kind of gal, you know, I love a callback, you know that. But I think, but that is a really good point though, right? To subject yourself to voluntarily.
I'm sorry, callback girl just sounds raw.
It's kind of like a call girl, but different. It's far less sexy.
I was like, get over it, Ed. It's not that funny.
Almost as sexy. But subjecting yourself knowingly to the kind, and I've seen people undergo like really gnarly plastic surgeries. Like recovery from even small surgeries is really, really painful. You know, even just when I get like my lip injections, you don't get like Novocaine. You don't get like, you know, pain. You don't get like numbing cream or anything, or at least I don't. Some people do, but I don't. My injector lady, her name is Janelle. She's wonderful. She just doesn't like using it for some reason or another. Maybe she's, I don't know, sadistic.
Maybe it's like a safety thing.
She gave me a good reason. I don't really remember what her reason was, but like it's painful. Like having needles, injected into your lips. Lips are very, very sensitive part of your body. Yeah. Like it almost feels like a relief when she goes from my lips to like my forehead. I'm like, oh, thank God, that's like not as bad. Like that's fine, you know. But even the recovery from getting your lips done hurts. Like they're swollen and they're really tender, and it really, really hurts, and it's hard to eat and talk and like whatever. But like you do it because the result or whatever you want to have done. But like, I haven't had like a really gnarly like plastic surgery yet, but like, I imagine having your face taken off your skull and then put back on your skull.
I'm going to throw up.
Probably fucking hurts, man.
Yeah, I'm going to throw up.
Probably fucking hurts. Like I've had stitches.
If I have to picture skin coming off my flesh one more time, I'm going to throw up.
I've had stitches. Have you had stitches before?
One time.
Okay, I've had stitches in my gums and in my lady parts from having a baby. Even just recovery from stitches is painful. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Oh, you're right. Because they don't numb you when they take the stitches out.
No.
And I was like, kids go through this?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
It hurts, man. It hurts.
You can feel that.
Imagine. Or like, you know, I'm sorry, but sometimes they use like staples instead of like stitches, and like that's really fucking gnarly. Like that's gonna fucking hurt, you know. And like liposuction, have you ever seen a liposuction?
I mean, you say these things, but even with Botox, the videos I've seen, they're just like they're just like, that's like 30 injections in like a matter of minutes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know it's confusing, and this is a lot for a lot of people with tattoos, but like I'm terrified of needles.
Yeah.
But like tattoo needles are different.
Very different. They're very shallow.
Yeah, they're very shallow. And sometimes there's like 50 of them, yes.
Yeah.
But they just like,
yeah,
just go in and out. You know what I mean? You don't see this ginormous metal thing.
Yeah, and it only goes in so much, you know, like millimeters, not even, you know.
It's not like doesn't hurt, because like sometimes it's like a hot knife in your skin, but
surgery is actually a knife in your skin.
Yeah.
But, you know, the lengths that people will go through, and even tattoos is a form of beautification. You know what I mean? And like people do these things to feel more themselves or more how they want to feel. And so like there's I don't know, like there's a line for some people and there's a line.
That's a very good point. How different are tattoos from plastic surgery? I don't think it is. And to be honest with you, body modification is a part of tattoo culture. Like people who get like, you know, implants
like
and stuff
put in, right? Or like split their tongues.
Right. All of that is still plastic surgery.
Right.
People should be allowed to look however they want, as long as it doesn't affect or is offensive to other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like obviously getting hate symbols tattooed on you is offensive. You know, similar thing, being in Ollie London.
But even that though, if it's something that you want to do to make you feel better about yourself, then, you know, I say go for it. I mean, that goes for anything, right? Like obviously body modifications and plastic surgery and tattoos are like permanent things, but there are things that people do, makeup, you know, colored contact lenses, coloring your hair, like getting your ears pierced, you know, like all of these things are things that people don't look at, but at the end of the day, these are things to modify your appearance.
Yeah, clothes, literally the most basic of them all.
Right.
You know?
Even just, you know, something like getting your eyebrows waxed. Same thing, you know? So do what you want, make yourself feel good, you know, and if there are things that make you feel good that are, you know, people deem unacceptable for whatever reason, or they want to shame you for it, fuck them. Fuck them. People shame me all the time.
Right.
Like, oh, you know, you have a skincare line and you get Botox. Like, yeah, I have a skincare line to try to maintain my face the way that it is. I get Botox to prevent those things, and I meet in the middle. And also,
all the same umbrella.
Also, fuck you. Like, yes.
But to be real, majority of people, and I don't know that Tom Cruise and J-Lo fall in this category, but most of it is just genetics.
Yeah, a lot of it is genetics.
You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. A lot of these Korean influencers with like their K-beauty and stuff, like, sure, maybe some of the K-beauty stuff is a little bit better than some others.
Yeah.
But like a lot of Korean people just have good genes when it comes to skin.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Very
and like,
true.
sure, of course you can do stuff to make it better, but it's not the difference between like having zits all over your face and a clear skin. Oftentimes, almost most of that, every time, that's just genetics.
Right. Right.
So like, not that it's the same, but sometimes people have to do a little bit more.
Right.
To get to the same equal playing field.
If they
line.
want to.
Right.
Right. And I think as an aging woman, you know, when that whole concept of aging gracefully, I don't think is a one size fits all for all of us. You know what I mean? Some women, like, I don't dye my hair. I'm almost 50 and I have no gray hair. I mean, I'll probably wake up tomorrow and be covered in gray hair just because I jinxed it. And I know some women who are my age that are completely gray at this point, like have, you know, their natural hair color or their original hair first color is gone. I was like, wait, previous is not there anymore.
Youthful color.
And like some women choose to color their hair and some women don't. And it's like they age gracefully, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean like don't do things for yourself that make you feel good. Like I don't subscribe to aging gracefully as just like not trying. That's not what I want to, how I want to age gracefully. Like I think that's a concept that I think so many women like really like fixate on is like, well, aging gracefully means that I can no longer do these skincare or, you know, get injectables. I can't get plastic surgery. I can't dye my hair. Like, why? Why does that mean that? That doesn't mean that for everybody.
I mean, what the fuck does grace even mean anyway when it comes to women and beauty standards? Like, what does that even mean?
Right. The grace of a track and field runner is different than the grace of a ballerina, right? Is different than the grace of a concert pianist.
Which I'm pretty sure like grace originally was used to be classist, right?
Oh shit, probably.
You know what I mean? So it's like what? Being graceful means that you should age like a rich white woman?
Which means you should be getting plastic surgery. And I think that I think is the takeaway for me is like defining my own grace if I want to, or should we use a different word?
No, I think that's how it should be. I think you should define beauty. You should define grace.
My standard of beauty for myself is different than everybody else's. And I feel fine with getting Botox and talking about it. And people are like, don't admit to people. Like, why? Like, it's not a secret. Like, why am I keeping that from people? I don't want people to think that I didn't do it or that I'm lying about it.
I mean, in some scenarios, it could be looked at as like gatekeeping.
Right.
You know what I mean? Dumb. It's like if somebody else wants to fix their nose because they're insecure about it, then like give them the resources to do so. Let them know the information. Like, who cares?
There's enough plastic surgeons out there for all of us.
There's enough people in the world that even if both of you look the same, like nobody gives a fuck.
There's enough botulism. We can all get botulism. It's fine.
I think that's a disease.
No, botulism is what Botox is made out of. So yeah, it is.
I have no idea about anything.
Botulism was originally created to help with migraines.
Oh.
Yeah. So what it does is it deadens the nerve.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, botulism, I thought like killed cells.
That's what it does. It's something like that. I mean, we're clearly not doctors. We're fucking idiots. But but that's what it does. It forces it seizes, the muscle or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so it was for for migraines. And then he was like, hey, your face looks really good, man. I don't know how your head feels, but it looks really good. But they use it for like clammy hands, and then for like people who perspire too much. Yeah.
My ex-girlfriend wanted to get that done. And I was like,
did she have clammy hands?
No, her armpits. And I was like, just other parts of your body are just going to start sweating.
Is that how that works?
I don't know. Theoretically, yes.
Is it like if you plug a hole, it like
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, cause if you think about it, sweat is your body trying to cool itself down.
Yeah, emit.
So like if you clog up that, then it's going to try to cool itself down by sweating somewhere else. Theoretically, but if it's hormonal sweating, then that might not be the case. You know what I mean? Know.
Please don't look at any of this as medical advice.
None of this is medical advice.
If you want to survive.
These are theories of someone with zero anything.
We are just making shit up. And
not all the time, but when it comes to medical stuff, yes.
We're just using deductive reasoning.
Yes.
And what we know, our limited knowledge.
Deductive reasoning is perfect. From some knowledge that we know about other stuff, kind of.
Right. I think this is the part where we wrap it up. Because we're really close to getting ourselves in trouble, I feel like.
Wrap it up.
But thank you all for joining us on this adventure.
Is that really where we're just ending it?
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's true. But I really do like the pregnant foods idea.
I do too. I think that'll be really, really fun because I've had some friends.
Please don't make up gross stuff just to make us eat it.
This is not Fear Factor.
Let's be real.
And you know what? When you you have to send proof of a child. Send your kid's baby picture or you being pregnant.
Yeah. We don't need the kids.
Yeah, don't send me the baby picture.
Pregnant.
Scratch that. Send me a pregnant photo of yourself.
And if you're pregnant now eating these cravings, we want to see a photo of you eating it so we know it's not fake.
So send us your wildest pregnancy cravings and Ed and I will try them. And I think Ed, you'll be really surprised.
I have a feeling a lot of them are going to involve pickles.
I think so too.
Pickles and pizza, pickles and peanut butter, pickles and cheese. Oh, that's normal. I was like,
pickles and cheese.
I was just thinking of pickles and random things.
Hey, you know what else they have? Is they have those birth simulator like electrode things.
No.
Oh, I guess we're not doing that then.
I mean, we can.
You and Ron could do it.
I don't mind it. I just know that I've had kidney stones before, and I've been told that
it's not the same.
Equally, if not worse on a pain scale. And it's not the same pain, but just on a pain scale.
Maybe.
So if it's like that, I already know that pain, and I don't need to fake do it to myself.
I've seen people do the birth simulator, and I was like, you have to put one of those electrodes up their butthole. And if you don't put it up their butthole, then this is not a good scientific test because that's where most of the pain is. Or at least it's where it feels like it is. Immense butthole pressure. And on that note, thanks for joining us on this episode.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm going to sign off every episode now with butthole pressure.
That's like... We go to this thing called Doodle Gang, and you should come one time. But it's basically just like a drink and draw.
Okay.
And it's curated by this amazing artist. His name is Upendo, and he ends every Doodle Gang with drawing an aggressive butt. And you could just interpret that however and draw whatever you want. It's just funny you say that. I'm like, why are buttholes the ending to so many things in my life? By so many, I mean two. These two.
Right, right.
Let's not get our heads filled with a bunch of ideas.
Yes. But on that note, write us in. Tell us your pregnancy craving stories or combinations. We would love to hear them. And
if you do send us a photo, let us know if you want us to post it or not. Make sure you include any handles or names. If you want to be kept anonymous, make sure you give us those details. If you prepare it a specific way, a specific brand or whatever, try to include as many of those as possible. And then if you have a funny story to go with it, of course, include those in.
Please write it in.
We're going to try to eat as many of them as possible while reading and sharing your stories. Make sure you email them to WhatintheShibal@gmail.com. That's posted here somewhere. Whatever Susie's doing.
I do the Vanna White.
This is how Susie swims, actually. Synchronized swimming.
You should see me. I'm a star.
So send those in within the next week. Other than that,
thanks for tuning in. We always appreciate you spending your time with us. We really, really, really do.
Yeah.
And
feel free to do whatever you want to make yourself feel better, including like, I don't know, getting an overdue haircut so your face doesn't look like it's bigger than it already is. I don't know.
If I come back and my lips are gigantic, it's only because my esthetician is about to go on maternity leave. So I got to stock up on the front end.
Is that how that works?
No.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, I'm totally kidding. Although I kind of want to do it just to freak it out, but not because
At your expense.
Yeah, I was going to say, cut my nose off to spite my face. I don't think so. But yes, thank you for joining us. And I don't know, catch us other places. I don't know what's happening right now. I feel so out of it.
Make sure you follow us on all of our socials. You can catch Soogia.
Soogia1 No, Gmail. Jesus Christ. Soogia1 on TikTok and Instagram. You see what happened?
We're degrading very quickly.
We're leaving. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's Soogia1, God damn it.
That's what I said. On TikTok and Instagram. And who the fuck are you?
I'm Ed. Just kidding. You can find me at Etch-a-Sketch with a J on everything, and you can find us at WhatintheShibal. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the Soogia.
Boing.
That's
just kidding. Ding.
That's something else, I think. Otherwise, we're sorry.
We're so sorry.
Also, thank you.
I'm so sweaty. I have to go home.
I'm just getting sweaty too from laughing so hard.
Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Oh my God. What just happened?
I don't know.
What just happened?
I'm sweating so much.
We're so sorry. If you're still here and you're still listening.
I swear this isn't the weed episode either.
Oh, God.
I'm now scared for the weed episode.
Oh my God. Maybe we should combine the weed episode and the pregnancy
cravings?